Welcome to the ACI-LAC Munich International Airports on VIP terminals at the airports. Today, we count with the pleasure having with us Germán González, Senior Consultant in Munich International Airport. And as usual, before we start, we would like to share with you that we have simultaneous interpretation available, so you can choose your language of preference, Spanish or English. Please look down in the globe below the menu. If you can silence original audio if you don't want to hear both languages at the same time. If you will remember, in previous meetings, chat is disabled. In case you want to ask a question, you must send it to this email you see on the screen, info@aci-lac.aero. The Q&A session will be done at the end of the presentation. So I would like to give the floor to Germán González, please. Thank you, Carla. Thank you for inviting us to this session to talk about VIP terminals. It's for us a true pleasure from Munich International Airport to share with you our experience of having worked in VIP terminals, and even more important, to talk to you about VIP Win, which is our star VIP in Munich Airport. If you like. Well, next we will talk about the main concepts I will introduce in this presentation. First, what is a VIP terminal? It's important to identify what is a VIP terminal and the difference with other terminals we have at the airports. Later on, we will talk about the operations and design, in this case of the VIP Win, so you can see how VIP Win terminal is. Later on, we will talk about the services, very important because there's important, we provide important services. Of course, there's a common basis for all VIP terminals, but there are many options, interesting options to improve commercial or income at the airports. And these VIP terminals, we must say that their services are expensive and that we can have good profits if we utilize them properly. And last, we will have a vision of the different VIP terminals in the world. We will talk about the prices in each one. We cannot talk about all of them, unfortunately, but we will give you a vision of where we have VIP terminals so you can later on consult and you can see the services each one provides. We go on to the next slide. What is a VIP terminal? Traditionally, at the airports, as we all know, we've had passenger terminals for commercial flights. Well, since the beginning of aviation, have been present between us. Besides this, in many airports, we also have what we call business passenger terminals for general aviation too. Terminals that were more exclusive, more luxury services used by those passengers that use private airplanes to fly towards or outside the airports. Where do VIP terminals fit in? They are independent terminals or existing areas dedicated to those passengers that don't want to mix themselves, don't want to blend with other passengers, that don't want to follow normal processes of the passengers in the commercial areas, but use commercial flights. It's like a hybrid of both terminals. In Munich Airport, we avail two passenger terminals. Terminal 1, which is the original terminal at the airport. Terminal T2, which is the passenger terminal for commercial aviation. It's exploited by Lufthansa and its partners. Within our airport, we also have general aviation terminal. It's a terminal for only the use of executive airplanes. We also have our Jewel, which is VIP Win. VIP Win is our terminal VIP that is located in Terminal 1, T1, which is an area, exclusive area, where passengers can go directly. We receive the passengers, and from the VIP terminal, through a SYNAP service, we transfer the passengers to all the flights and aircraft we have in the airport. So the passenger, the run they do is very little. They get there, they enjoy, they relax. They are there all the time within our terminal. And when it's time to leave for their aircraft, we have our limousines, and they go. We take them to their aircraft. So we reduce time frames. And besides this, we prevent those long tours or times it takes to go to passport controls and other areas. This unfortunately happens in many airports when we have peak times. We have several examples of VIP terminals in the world. None is similar to another. Each one has its particularities, but we've analyzed the different ones. But what are the common characteristics of the VIP terminals? Or what we would like to be ideal for them to be VIP. Many times airports have had to adapt to this new demand and adapt areas instead of planning this from the beginning. Well, these four characteristics are important. First of all, exclusive attention service. It's very important to provide an exclusive service to our passengers through well-trained agents in protocol, in this case, and that they provide an attention from the right when the customer reaches the VIP terminal. Even before this, these agents are all the time pending to any demands of the customers until they leave our airports. Another important characteristic are the processes. We should not or cannot, if possible, make it that the passenger must move or towards anywhere else in the airport. So the VIP terminal must compile all the processes within the airport and concentrate them in a fairly reduced space, we can say. I like to call it like a small terminal where we have security controls, passport controls, we have the customs service, we also have tax services, and all those services that the authorities require are provided within the terminal. Another important characteristic is an independent infrastructure. In what sense? The ideal is that the VIP terminal is independent passenger terminal. Why? Because it offers this exclusivity character, but it's not always been possible. So we have airports like in Munich that have adapted their facilities and trying to look for the most exclusive place for them and more comfortable to reach and to exit. But what's ideal is that it's an independent terminal. In Munich Airport currently, since last year, we are working on the Guarulhos, also working with the Guarulhos terminal in Brazil. We hope that this year we finish the project in Brazil and we can have this terminal ready. In this case, the Guarulhos terminal in Brazil, the current one is an independent terminal. The only connection it has with the airport is with the system, so everything works properly. But we're totally independent. We have all the necessary services from all the different institutions that are aligned. They know how important it's to know it's to have this terminal, this VIP terminal in Guarulhos, Brazil. So we expect and we trust that at the end of the year, we can have all services ready. Another important characteristic is the transfer to the aircraft. This exclusive character is provided by the limousine services that transport passengers from the terminal VIP towards the aircraft, or when the passenger arrives, receive the passenger in the aircraft and take him right to the VIP terminal. Prevent that the passenger is forced to have to walk around the facilities of the airport. If and when the authorities allow it, we will do as much as possible so the passengers stay as long as possible in our VIP terminal. As I was saying, these are common characteristics. We can talk about others, but this is what's most common that we have. If this would be an ideal design here. But the essence of the VIP terminals, we see them in three main aspects. Exclusive attention, very important. Our personnel is highly qualified. It's personnel that is in touch with our customers from different nationalities, cultures, regions. And we must be up to par with the demands of our customers. So our staff for customer service must also provide this exclusive service. It's very important in training or capacity building. It's not easy to find highly qualified personnel or staff. I want to emphasize this. So we're very careful with our staff, our teams, and our services. Also, the terminals many times, as you know, should be like an extension of your home. You should feel like at home. It should be a privacy model, an independency model. Another characteristics of the terminals is differentiation. We need to be differentiated between the rest of the terminal. How? In the sense that we need to provide this exclusive service to our passengers. This can be achieved in different manners. For instance, in the airport of Heathrow, terminal VIP offers like a Michelin quality food restaurant. In Munich Airport, we offer high quality food to our passengers. It's not available in other areas of the airport. We can also offer things that are only exclusive in our terminal. Experiences for the passenger, even stores, if possible, that are only found within our terminal. It's important to work in differentiation. And then we have the premium service. At all times, during all processes, since we start interacting at the initial moment, we look for excellency. It's a premium service at all times. We need to watch over all services for passengers. And this is very important because we need to do it with every passenger that comes to our VIP terminal. So we need to have a specific care so we can make the services much easier for passengers, how we can help them and at any point in time make their stay very pleasant all the time they stay in our airport. But what difference is there between a VIP terminal and we have different VIP terminals? Some are for first class passengers. So we need to see the difference between VIP terminals and VIP rooms. One important differentiation is access. Normally, VIP rooms are only accessed by some persons that have some specific category. Maybe they have a specific bank or a special credit card to access this room, or they travel through a specific airline so they can access this VIP room. But in many cases, these exclusive rooms are not accessible to everyone. But our VIP terminals are accessible to all passengers independently of the airline they fly on. And this is important because sometimes we have airports that offer first class services for their passengers, but only for those that travel with that specific airlines. But VIP terminals are accessible to all passengers instead of VIP lounges or rooms. But there are exceptions. In Heathrow Terminal, for instance, in their terminal, they decided it's only accessible for passengers that travel in business class or first class. Some other airports, for instance, Singapore Airport does not allow passengers that fly in low-cost airlines to use this service. Each one has its their own reasons for this. In many places, to limit access is necessary to limit demand somehow. I would like to say that these VIP terminals are terminals with high demands from passengers. So at a point in time, we need to select what type of passengers we want we want us to be in their terminals. And another important aspect is the management, administration areas. They can be managed by banks, credit cards, or the airlines themselves. We all know how these lounges or terminals can be accessed, but VIP terminals are usually managed by the airport operator, or they are airport concession through a company, like in the Guarulhos airport. It's going to be a concession for 40 years. Another important aspect is the location. As I mentioned beforehand, a VIP terminal can be located within the terminal building. But what's ideal is that it would be an independent building so they can offer this special exclusive touch. And instead, the VIP lounges are always within the terminal. And this makes it that passengers, in order to reach a VIP lounge, must go through all the processes in the airport. They must go through invoicing, then they must go to security. This is what the airports are investing on in providing fast track services for passengers. So their transit to VIP lounges is as fast and easy as possible, but they still must follow these processes. Instead, the VIP terminals, as I mentioned beforehand, all of these processes are available in the VIP terminal. So the time the passenger takes with these processes are minimum. We can reduce this to the process times themselves. So since it's so exclusive, we don't have queues, long queues. Then very important, the passenger experience. A VIP lounge, normally the contact with the passenger is when the passenger gets to the VIP lounge. At that point in time, the teams provide their best services, so they're happy until they leave the lounge and they go towards their aircraft. But the VIP service is limited to the time the passenger is inside. Instead, in our VIP terminals, we're fortunate that our first contact with the passenger is produced when they do the reservation. The reservation can be done at the last minute, but normally reservations are done a few days before, even weeks before, due to different reasons. First of all, because lounges have a limited capacity. So if you don't reserve with enough time, you might be surprised that they don't have any capacity to receive you. Another important aspect, most of the VIP terminals, if you reserve with 48 hours, prices will be much higher. So we work with more midterm planning. And what the tests provide for, so we can be in touch with our customers since way back before they reach the airport. So we are able to know our passenger. We are able to know what demands they will have when they get to the airport. It's very important. We might have families with small children, and we can offer additional services in our terminal so they're more comfortable. As we will see later on, we have rooms, we have suites, we have meeting rooms. So it's important to know our passenger in our VIP terminals. It's important for them to let us know what they need, because our objective is that they're as comfortable as possible within our VIP terminal. So our process of knowing the passenger starts when they reserve during reservation, and it ends when we take the passenger to their aircraft, or in the case of arrivals, we leave the passenger at the VIP terminal so they can go back home, or sometimes we even offer limousines within the cities. So the time we spend with the airport is much longer, and we can enjoy our passengers much more, and vice versa. It's very important to know our user profiles. We would be surprised with people that access VIP terminals, because maybe we have a personal image of who will come to our terminals, but it's a very wide variation. Well, our terminals are used by many famous people. People that are affected by their fame, and they don't mind paying a little more for exclusivity. So VIP terminals gives this solution to famous people, so they can have this intimacy level that they like. We in our VIP terminal, we have exclusive areas like suites that are used by famous people, so this stay is as intimate as possible. We need to mention that not always famous people travel in executive planes, or VIP terminal gives them the solution when they travel commercially, that they have this intimacy they require. We also have families. It's usual to see families in our terminals. We receive them. We provide them our best service, so they're as comfortable as possible. Well, children can play. They're separate from the rest of the airplanes, but families use VIP terminals constantly. We also have married couples, then groups of friends. We also have groups of friends that, due to a circumstance, they decide to have this exclusive service of VIP win, and then very important business passengers and corporative passengers. The terminal offers exclusivity. Many times, corporations, for their customers, or their board members, they offer these VIP terminals because of the exclusivity aspects. Business passengers, some of them value their time a lot, and our VIP terminal reduces their times at the airports. The process can take 5 minutes until they reach the VIP terminal, and they can start working with their laptops. And until that time, and when they're invited to go to their aircraft, meanwhile, we can offer them meeting rooms and suites, so they value a lot all the possibilities in our terminals. Operations and design. There are 4 factors we have identified that are important that a VIP terminal must have to be successful. One, it must be specialized in luxury. At all times, we must provide luxury services according to the needs of our passengers. I need to mention that every VIP terminal in every airport is different from the others at the other airports. It's important to know our passengers then. We would be surprised with the differentiation we have between the passenger profile in similar countries, but there are not two identical similar cases with VIP terminals. We have VIP terminals that are used a lot by corporations. We need to focus our services and design to this type of passengers. It's also important, as I said beforehand, to identify our elements of connections or passengers. This is important. This will allow us to design our processes properly. And then very important, integration and coordination of all services in the airport. We cannot ask our passenger to move towards a normal terminal. Only in some cases, and if it's done, in VIP terminals, we offer the possibilities to the passengers to buy some maybe products they would like to buy elsewhere that we don't have in our VIP terminal. Sometimes we don't have all commercial products, but we can allow them possibilities to go outside, or they tell us what they need and we go look for them for the product. Or if they don't mind, we transfer them directly to the store where they need to buy something. And once they finish, we take them back to our VIP terminal. But with these aspects, we need to be able to integrate all of these services. Well, the exit process of the VIP terminal starts before the passenger reaches the VIP terminal with all services. But physically, it starts when the passenger reaches our door in our terminal. There, our team, our staff, receives the passenger, takes their luggage, provides them all the necessary information if their flight is leaving on time, and we take charge of all the procedures, invoicing, luggage, and help them with the security controls. And we make it easy with their time we take charge of luggage. Normally, we need to go back and take luggage through the normal channels. And then we ask the passenger when they want to embark or exit or not, and we take them to the aircraft. And when the passenger reaches the airport, we wait for them at the door of the aircraft. We have a sign when we announce ourselves. At that point in time, we transfer the passenger to the VIP terminal, and they relax. They follow the proper procedures, passport controls, and they wait for us until we receive their luggage and provide their luggage in our VIP terminal. Once we finish our processes, we take them to our VIP terminal, and we have our limousine services to take them home. So processes are very similar to a passenger terminal, but with our specific characteristics. This is a VIP terminal of the Munich airport, 1,700 square meters. As you can see on the upper left hand, is when passengers arrive. In our case, we've decided that the passenger only goes through security control, and immediately they go to invoicing, and these processes are on the left-hand side. And then we have a large area so the passenger can relax We have 4 meeting rooms and suites. We have a dining area. Then we have an exterior area. We call it the VIP garden. There, of course, we're in Baviera, and well, we have a beer garden. We love beer in Munich, and in sunny days in Munich, it's very pleasant. The approximate capacity is about 50 passengers, and every day we attend between 60 to 80 passengers. The VIP terminal in Munich is well known by our passengers. Here we see some photographs of the terminal. On the upper left-hand side is where passengers arrive with their vehicle, with their car, and our team is already waiting for them to receive them. On the left-hand side, down below, is the relax area, a very comfortable lounge or room with all comfort the passengers need. We have the meeting rooms, very important. Many times we receive passengers that simply come to Munich to hold meetings with persons from Munich. So their meetings are done in the VIP terminal and in our airport, and then the passengers, this goes to a final destination. We also have what we call suites. These are rooms where they can relax. There's a bed. They can listen to music or other things. Then we have the dining area where we provide exclusive services for passengers. In our case, we have first class services from Lufthansa. We offer a daily menu for our passengers. Services. It's important to know the additional services we can offer in these rooms because they generate important income. I would start at the beginning. We have the basic service of a room, hall with a lounge where they have beverages, food, they relax and they spend as much time as possible. We have even shower services for them. There are additional services we collect additionally at the entrance. We have suites also for them to rest, to sleep. If they are traveling long, they can have privacy. Meeting rooms, as I mentioned beforehand, very important. They're used a lot, especially in Munich Airport. We have a high demand for meeting rooms, but also we can offer spa services. We can offer sales services, an important income source. We can offer also limousine services from our terminal all the way to their destination city. So basically, what the passengers can use is the basic lounge or VIP terminal, but there are some additional services that are invoiced differently, and they can generate additional and interesting income. Besides, we should not forget that publicity is very important. It's not the same publicity we have within the normal terminals in the airports. But the characteristics in VIP terminals is that we have captured a passenger, basically, that is very important for some specific brands. So we need to do as much as possible to have a specific publicity, but one that will generate important income. So we can count with digital publicity, special glasses, all digital advanced aspects for our passengers. But besides publicity, another important aspect is the limousine service we count with. They are high luxury limousines to transport the passengers to the airside or landside. This is offered in order to offer the the best commercial products also for many important brands. And the passengers enjoy comfortable vehicles. In the case of Munich, we count with PVUV, which is the local BMW, which is our local brand of vehicles. And every 2-3 years, they bring us their latest models so they can be enjoyed by our customers. And beverage services too, it's important. We have very prestigious brands that want to have a presence in our terminals. For them, it's very important that our customers can access their brand beverages. So we need to be very careful and redesign our commercial strategies really carefully in our VIP terminals. And as a last point, I want to mention the VIP terminals we have in the world. Here, there's an example of some terminals we have. As you can see, the spheres have a different size. Well, the development of VIP terminals is more numerous in Europe than elsewhere in the world. But as you can see, in Latin America, for instance, now we avail one in Los Angeles, and in the Middle East, we have several examples in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Bahrain. Customers demand this type of service. In Europe, we have Heathrow, we have Munich, Amsterdam, Vienna. And then in Asia, we have Singapore, which is important. And we have the example of Hong Kong. We will tell you a little bit about the prices that we collect in each one so you can have a good idea of what our customers are willing to pay for these types of services. The VIP Win, our standard rates are 510 euros, a little more in dollars. Our guests have lower prices when they come in. It's a bit cheaper. In transit, we collect about $700. We have suite services for about 3 hours. We collect 700 pounds. We're not talking about a cheap service. I don't want to be rude here, but it's not a cheap service. So we need to work at all times in our exclusivity aspects. The Vienna terminal has another different structure of prices. For them, it's important the time customers stay. So they offer 3 packages if they stay for 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. Instead, the Heathrow terminal, in this case, that's the most expensive terminal we have at this point in time. The London terminal, Windsor Lounge, was initially designed for the royal family. So even though the royal family doesn't use these services, well, they made the decision to adapt it to a terminal of these characteristics. Nonetheless, the price is fairly high. It's a bit more than more than $3,000 to access this terminal. This is only oriented to business and first-class passengers, basically, but this formula works for them. These high prices, and apparently they have the necessary demand they need. Outside Europe, we have the example of Los Angeles, LAX. They have a lounge. Excuse me, he's breaking up. He's breaking up. My apologies. One moment. In Los Angeles, they have a suite services, as you can see, up to They can have up to 4 guests in every suite, and the access to the lounge is about 1,010 pounds. If we go to the Middle East, we have 2 examples, one in Dubai, where entry price is more than $2,500, and in the terminal of Abu Dhabi, the price is excuse me, he's breaking up his signal. I apologize. One moment, please. We lost communications. One moment, please. One moment, please. Herman lost his communication. One moment, please. Our apologies. Give us a few minutes so Herman can reconnect, please. Please, thank you for your patience. 1 minute, please. Herman, you're back. Well, sorry, my apologies. We are back online. Okay, and in Asia, we have several examples. We see some examples here. In Maldives, we have a lounge with a more reduced price. This is also adjusted to their supply side or offer. It's not so luxurious as other terminals in the world, so their prices are adjusted to what they offer. Then we have the Singapore lounge. In the case of Hong Kong, in both, they have like about 2 differentiated services. Within the VIP terminal, they have a BBIP area. So they have designed 2 types of format adapted to their passengers. In the case of Singapore, the access price is fairly low, around $300. This only includes staying time in the lounge and support with procedures. Nonetheless, if the passenger wants to be transferred directly to the aircraft by limousine, they collect separately. And in Hong Kong terminal, we have a lounge service, but we also have the suite service. As you can see, it's about 3 times the price of the lounge service, but it gives you privacy and exclusivity that our customers need. Well, this is as far as we go with our presentation. I hope you liked it, and we could spend a lot of time talking about our VIP terminals. There are many, many more aspects about them. I think in the future we will have many more examples, and I think in our Latin American continent, in the next 5 years, we will have many more VIP terminals in our airports. And now I'm right on time. So Carla, if you like, we can go to the Q&A, questions and answer session. Thank you, Herman, for all the information you provided today. And we start then with the Q&A meeting. Just to remind you all, please send your questions to this email address, info@aci-lac.aero. The first question we have is, do you expect that in the market, new VIP terminals will be opened up in the future? Of course, yes. Well, we, the airports, have the need to increase our commercial income. Airlines are pressuring more for aeronautical tariffs and rates, so we need more commercial income. And the VIP terminal is one of the additional businesses that we can access. More and more, we have people with higher spending levels. They demand more and more, so they demand executive services. So there's a population niche that is small, but they need these services. And we, as airport, must provide these services. As I mentioned beforehand, some of the characteristics of the VIP terminals, one very important one is independence. If the passenger wants to leave on vacations somewhere, but due to some reason, his airline doesn't have the lounge he requires, then they need to have access to these types of terminals. So I see new openings in Latin America. I see many possibilities in airports to open up these types of lounges or VIP terminals. I also believe in our potential to have first level lounges or VIP terminals. We can provide exclusive services to our passengers, and to what's most important, we can have an important demand from our customers. Only to give you some information, we in Munich Airport, we have a waiting list in many occasions, and this is a symptom of the health that the demand of these services has. Thank you. I have another question. These VIP terminals collect the airport tax. How do you go through the security process? And if it's not as hard as normally to go through the process. To your second question, we follow the same security processes like the customer terminals. We need to be very careful with security. We follow the same processes with customs too. There is no type of relaxation in these processes. To say it in this manner, I need to mention it. It's true that, thank God, we have all the institutions aligned in an exclusive area and all the needs our customers have. But the police must provide their services, customs must do their inspections for vegetables, animals, so forth. As I mentioned recently, our team in Munich Airport is working Guarulhos Airport in Brazil. And we've had many meetings with their customs services, with the police. So all processes are perfectly included in the terminal. In regard to income, in our rates, our VIP rates, are the normal rate for passengers. That rate is contemplated already by the airlines. But our service is a commercial service. 100% income for the VIP terminal, and the airport will share some of the benefits. Thank you. I have a question in English. All transfers are done airside. Totally. We don't take the passenger to the land side or At all times, basically, in our case, passengers come to relax to our VIP rooms. Everything is done through the airside, unless in some airport the authorities require some special or specific procedure, but all of it is on the airside. I have another question. That's a very good question because it's very important to coordinate with the different agents of the airport. We cannot forget that the VIP terminal is inside an airport, and all processes, parallel services continue working similarly. Well, the cases we have, there's a handling agent in the VIP terminal. This handling agent will collect the luggage of the passenger and will inject it directly to the normal system of the airport, and then the, the airport handling people take the luggage or baggage directly to the aircraft. The process is simpler. We have agreements signed with the different agents. So uh, this is a process that involves a lot of coordination with the handling agents, and they all work together to locate the baggage when it for arriving passengers. I have another question. Passengers of VIP terminals use private aircraft or commercial aircraft? And there's another quick question. How far, due to transfer aspects, can these terminals be located? What distances? As we saw at the beginning of the presentation, we talked about the different types of terminals, business, VIP, and commercial terminals. Our passengers in the VIP terminal are passengers that use commercial aviation. But every airport is different. This is the ideal case, like in the Munich airport, where we have the three types of infrastructure in the airport. But if an airport doesn't have a an important business traffic, they can have infrastructure that provides services to both normal passengers and business passengers. They're both compatible, but the ideal is to keep them separate. This is the main aspect. There was another question. What was your second question, Carla? How far, due to transfer aspects, can these VIP terminals be located? Ideally, they should be as close as possible to our aircraft. But keep in mind, our limousine service has access to all parking areas of the aircraft within the airport. Of course, it must be within our terminal. That is important. Within our airport, excuse me, that's important. But ideally, it should be as close as possible to the aircraft, not on the other side, nor that it takes 15 minutes to reach the aircraft. That's not ideal. What's ideal is we've said we need to reduce time as much as possible to in order to transfer our customers. But there's no standard, no standard. There's no specific standard, or there are not too many standards for VIP terminals either. They will come within the next few years. We will work on them with our ACI colleagues and other colleagues. We will be able to determine the proper standards of all terminals. But currently, we have a few standards. Thank you. I have another question. It came to my mind that you said there are users that only use VIP terminal services. That means that the airport office offers the service even if passengers don't take a specific flight, or there are passengers that fly to that specific airport only to use that specific VIP services. We have different types of passengers. Evidently, a VIP terminal is an added service. There are passengers that need. Many times there are flight combinations to reach a destination. There are no direct flights. So to have a VIP terminal is an added value. For instance, in Munich, we have a lot of persons on transit, and they prefer our terminal. I have not seen it. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. The case where a passenger uses a VIP and doesn't fly, because the objective of the VIP terminal is that they fly. It's true that we have the option for people that will not fly, but are accompanying a passenger. For instance, people that go and say goodbye, or a passenger that comes to greet somebody. Well, we have that option, and they must pay for those services. It's not free. We also have the option, as I mentioned, that there are people that fly to an airport simply to hold meetings, and then they go back to that destination. So we need to provide access to people in the city so they can access the VIP terminal. They can meet with these passengers, arriving passengers. But somebody who only uses the VIP terminal just for the sake of using it, I've never seen it. Okay, thank you very much. I think we are finished with the questions, and our time is gone, is through. So thank you, Herman, for sharing this information and helping us to expand all this VIP terminals world. And thank you to all participants. Thank you for accompanying once again in this webinar. If you have any more questions, please send it to this email here on the screen, info@aci-lac.aero. We will send it to Herman, who will answer you back. May you have a great day. We see you in the next webinar. Thank you. Thank you to everyone. And any doubts you have, you can please send me the questions, and we can advise you with any services you need. Thank you.